o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Both members present, Jerry Nielsen, Rich Ravel, and myself. And I see walking up the walkway is Kim, so I'll proceed slowly. The closed section and the code section will be 54957B1, employee performance evaluation CEO, and then the second section will be 54956.9B3, conference with legal counsel. And no members present includes Ken Pagel, please. We're just in time to leave the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the public comment period. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment? There being none, we will move on. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting? And if so, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
All in favor, Ken? Aye. Jerry? Rich? Aye. And myself is an aye. However, I do have a question on agenda item number 18. Not a correction, just a question. It says down here that the ethics training will be available, and that Rich and Kim are going. I'd also want to attend.
Okay, page 8.
Page 9.
Right.
And then also on item number 20, there was the home family donation of $10,000. Has a decision been made on that yet?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. Okay. David, you want to give a
Sure. The first are credentialing. There are 4 reappointments and 1 initial appointment. And I wish I could tell you the specialists these people are. I can't remember. I don't, or I never do. Do you know Ann? I think they're good people from Reno.
From Renown, the cardiologist? Maybe.
At any rate, their applications were in order for whatever they intend to do. Do you want to vote on that first and then do the?
I was just thinking, I looked at those credentials also, and I can't remember. Radiology?
Yeah, radiology.
Yeah, the radiology.
Oh, okay.
That's what they were. Yeah, we can, is there a motion to accept these 3 appointments?
I'll make that motion that we accept the appointments.
Second? All in favor, Terry? Rich? Myself, and I, Ken.
Aye.
And then policies?
We had infection control, revised dietary, new dietary, and they were all passed through medical staff, and there was not anything that appeared to be controversial in there.
Any discussion by the board? There being none, I'll accept the motion. Second? In favor, Ken?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Rich?
Aye.
Jerry?
Aye.
Is Steve here? Yep. Oh, there he is.
I need to make a clarification, so, we just approved them all together as a bunch.
Right.
Debbie. Apologize for the confusion surrounding the distribution of materials. Frankly, I didn't want to give Jerry any time to find an error on my part, so. Okay, we're looking at June of 2019, and even though you all may or may not have had much time to look at this, there's not a lot here, and so I'll keep it as brief as possible. We did have net income for the month of just over $2 million compared to a budgeted income of just over $400,000 for a positive variance of approximately $1.6 million. This was due in its entirety to a positive variance in our non-operating revenue and our supplemental payments. We received 2 more in the month of June, and that'll be it for that this fiscal year, or for the 18-19. This was somewhat offset by negative variance in operating expenses, which we've been experiencing for the last few months. So I think that there's nothing new there that's driving that negative variance, and I think we've addressed that pretty thoroughly. There was a little budgeting thing where we applied a little too much budget to the first 11 months, so we put in a little less than we normally would to June, so that kind of made the variance a little higher than it would have been otherwise. But so for the year-to-date, there was net income of $4.8 million versus a budget of $3.7 million. So it was a good year financially, but it could have been a great year if certain things could happen. Namely, if we could somehow find a way to limit or minimize our use of contract staff, whether it's registry personnel for nursing or radiology, or even providers. So we pay a premium for staff, and it does impact our financials. Revenue was right in line for the month, slight positive variance, a little bit offset by a negligible variance in adjustments to revenue. In the month of June, we had 52 inpatient days, which was above budget, but we've had 0 swing bed days because mainly due to the loss of our occupational therapist. And so our average daily census was pretty close to budget, but it was all on the inpatient side. Skilled nursing unit is full again, which is great news. Outpatient diagnostic services, and we did have an increase, positive variance in surgeries, which is great. Lake Eleanor Clinic visits were down due to, again, to a decrease in available providers' hours and days. Talked about expenses. The big news, of course, is that our days of cash on hand are up to 153 days, which is fantastic. And this is exclusive of the money we have set aside for capital projects and operating reserves, approximately $1 million. And the increase was due to, we received a rate range payment of almost $1.8 million and AB 113 payment for just over $500,000. The dark cloud over the month was accounts receivable, and I think we'll talk about that more in the HRG section. A couple things, just real quickly. I'm going to go to page 4 of 7. This is our balance sheet. And, as you can see, that we have at the top there our cash, our short-term investments right now stand at $7.3 million. Down further below under board restricted funds, The first line item is stuff we set aside for capital improvements. Was that original 500,000, was what the board approved amounts we spent during the year, plus the funds for the KDK grant. And then the board restricted funds right now is just the operating reserve. Of that, of our investments, or of our funds, almost $7.4 million are in the local agency investment fund, which is a pooling of public entities in California. And then we're talking about this in finance committee meeting. Right now, we're getting right around 2.4% on that money, which is pretty amazing considering that the money is completely liquid. We can take it out at any time without any penalty. We get our interest quarterly. Our quarterly interest for April was about $22,000. We should be receiving over $30,000 around $30,000 for our quarterly payment that we'll receive at the end of this month. And so we're on target for investment income of over $100,000 for the year. So that's a great thing for us. That's all I wanted to hit. If there's any questions. Oh, one thing I did do is in finance committee when we met, I took the June financial statements and I laid them against kind of a crude analysis with the budget for the fiscal year 1920, and everything seems to be falling in line. The only thing is that right now we're currently a little over from an FTE and dollar standpoint on our combination of staff and contract labor, and so we'll be looking into that much more closely. And when we report on July, we'll have a detailed analysis. There's always reasons when we budget, we don't necessarily contemplate that the cost associated with shadowing or training new staff. So we also don't contemplate higher volumes that would mandate us calling in additional nursing staff. So anyway, we'll have a report, but the good news is that June felt pretty well in line with the budget for next year. So there'll be very specific reasons for any budget variances. Now the
Any board discussion on the finances? Treasurer, on the report?
No, but I will accept the financial.
Is there a second to that? In favor? Jerry? Aye. I vote aye. Ken? Okay. We're going to move on. I just had a little announcement I wanted to make. I was going to do this at the start and I forgot. The last board meeting, I made a comment in the opening about the employees out in the hall over during the closed session. And it seems like that was interpreted to be painted with a broad brush to imply that all of the employees are involved in some surreptitious spying or something. And I want to apologize if that's how you interpret it. I did not mean to implicate all the employees in any way. So please accept my apology for that. Okay, we'll move on to my next least favorite subject, which has been on the agenda for how many months now, Ken? 12? The CEO evaluation program.
So before we talk about that, can we talk about the home family donation?
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped that.
No worries.
Part
So
of the just a minute.
and I was gonna let Steve and Karen talk about that. What we were hoping to use the $10,000 for, and definitely needs to be board approved. Have you got just, did you take this a little while? The skilled nursing facility, and I'll start, you guys can jump right on in. In the skilled nursing facility, that patio, 2 years ago, Karen? 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, we received some donations to get that patio fixed up in the garden area, fixed up with fencing, and we had put in some tile, they're not tiles, they're the rubber matting that has since warped and the residents can't walk on it.
So the skilled nursing residents asked if there was a way that we could get that patio area fixed up and fenced and so that they can actually use that area. So that was something that we wanted to use that money for. Karen, do you want to jump in on that?
Now it's just a matter of waiting for the cost estimate. We're limited with what we can do because we change levels there. We go from directly off of the unit to a porch, and then the patio is lower. There is a ramp, but it's used to go to the transport runway there, transport road there, and then to get it down to this beautiful patio. And so in order to have it appropriate, it was going to be a huge challenge to try and get accessible, that's the right way to say it, to get to the patio. So we think we've come up with a solution. Now we're just waiting for the estimate on the cost.
Because we also have to have fencing around that one area so that our residents aren't out where parking is and possibly cars of residents. So that's, we've got to look at that fencing, and on top of looking at the fencing, is it something that is permanent, is it for snow removal? So that's all a piece of, we need to look at what that cost is going to be and get that estimate. And the reason that we were looking at more of this skilled patio than direct patient care equipment is because with the $80,000 for, the lab equipment, the KBK grant, and then the money from the hospital auxiliary, we've been doing a whole lot of capital equipment and equipment that's patient care, so we thought that we could use this for the skilled nursing residents.
And the intent of that is to allow the residents to have a little bit of freedom down there where they can come out of the building without somebody assisting them. And that's been needed for a couple of years now for several of the residents down there that are ambulatory.
Well, I'm not sure, without an estimate, what are we supposed to do?
Nothing, it was just more to give you, because we had said we were coming back here with information on the donation.
And were there stipulations on how the donation would be?
Board approved.
Anything the board?
Board approved.
Any discussion there?
Well, do we want to approve up to $10,000? I mean, why delay this?
Exactly. You could.
Any
Very
strong
well said.
feeling one way or the other? Jerry? I'll accept the motion. Make a motion then.
I move that the $10,000 grant be spent to make the improvements needed in whatever you want to call it. Skilled nursing facility patio.
Yes.
As something that would come back to the board then if it was just not feasible.
Yeah.
Motion and a second. Kevin?
Awesome.
How do you do? Rich?
Aye.
Jerry?
Thank
Moved
you.
and approved. Okay, now we can move on to the second program here. I'm not sure who's going to present this. Linda, didn't you get the information from ACHD?
I did, and that's included in there, and I was asked to bring back, so what,
From the attorney?
and I sent it to, the entire board, the original, and then what we had worked on with all the track changes, and then the ACHD.
We have a subcommittee, the two of you, looking at this.
Yeah.
I'm willing to accept your recommendation.
So, we had spent a lot of time trying to do a couple things. One was to separate out the basic evaluation from the incentive consideration. And that's what this one we put together reflects. So, don't know, we had some measurements in there, consultation, that we thought were pretty important. So I am not just seeing the advantage of the numbers from Florida. I don't know, maybe Dr. Wall can speak to his opinion.
Well, I thought we had a pretty good plan, it's just that we weren't sure about how to separate the percentages for evaluating.
So on the track version, it's showing them percentages that
Yeah,
we
see
talked
that.
about. So they're in the track version.
Patient safety was a big area where we wanted to emphasize, Ken and I wanted to emphasize that it's not available in the old one. Great.
So the fact, these pages aren't numbered, but, see on the,
It's hard to follow.
here's one page, lists the percentages of each category.
That would be after the then.
Is there any reason why we don't move forward with committee's version?
Is that?
Is there any reason we don't move forward with committee's version?
Well, I think Linda brought up a good point, and that is Ken and I were, our emphasis was on evaluating Linda, but actually the hospital should have a mechanism for evaluating any future CEO. So it really needs to be more of an institutional policy than an individual policy.
Where do you feel like, this is needed?
I don't know, Linda looked into that, and then you contacted the attorney. But what were the things in the ACHD one that was different from what Ken had?
It was a little more specific. The areas were still there. It talked about the leadership development, internal operations, medical staff relationships, finance development, community relations, then the board relations and development, that was in there, and then the building. So the ACHD is just more, it's a shorter version of what you had put into place, and it is more of a system evaluation, I guess, the best way to put it.
And I think the thing that got this all started was, I had suggested a more objective criteria for evaluating, because everything was so subjective. So Ken and I tried to come up with an objective way to do this, and
To the extent possible.
yeah.
And I feel like you guys did do that.
We had some numbers in the financial part, we had some numbers in the quality of care part, and I think those things were important. The question was how to weigh what percentages to give. And on this page here, it's divided up, and I think that was pretty much the way we had recommended. 25% for patient safety and quality, 25% for finances, and then we have 20% for medical staff relations, and community, and then leadership. I mean, if everybody agrees to that, we can certainly stick to it.
One of the considerations was that there should be, a base score met before an incentive would be considered. Candidate, forgot what that base was.
I don't know about what was that.
I don't recall if we said a number, because I had talked with you about that too. In other words, was it a pass or fail, or was it a percentage? So if we voted 85% approval, did she get 85% of the incentive? Or if we voted 85% approval, did she get 100% of the, did she pass, so you pass?
I was in favor of passing.
Pass or fail, yeah. So that was the one area where I think we need to decide how we want to do it.
So that was the next one to look at, right?
So the next one that you're looking at is the incentive.
No, I'm looking at the next tab.
Oh, no, that's,
Tab G. So
It's hard to follow in here, I have to
It's
admit.
right. So right now, under tab F, we're process and criteria, correct? Okay.
Got G is the incentive owner.
And so if we look at the categories, Dr. Wells was talking about assigning percentages to these categories, quality, efficient, safety, and then moving forward with approving the committee's version of this document with those percentages.
Say that again, please.
I think that's what we said.
Okay.
I think you got it right.
That's what I heard.
Walking through the evaluation form that the committee put together and assigning percentages to each category, and then approving this document with those percentages.
Right.
Okay.
And then the further question is, say these percentages are down, but what base score would you want for pass fail?
Well, that part I think Linda is on the next one, because on G is the section where it says grading minimum score on evaluation must be met. On that one.
Right, and what I'm asking is, what is that minimum score? That's not been decided yet. So I'm in agreement with what you're saying, it's just, what is that minimum score?
So I think Dr. Welch, you said the quality efficiency, you were looking at 25%,
Yes.
financial leadership, 25, I'm sure they actually add up.
They're right here on this. They're on one of these pages.
Oh, like on a track to change page?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clean page.
I just don't know how to direct
Not,
it.
not really, yeah.
Okay, I will try to find it.
I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages.
Oh, there, I see now.
So we refer to a minimum score, but we don't specify what the minimum score is.
Right, and that's what
That's the question.
It should be a minimum percent, right?
Yeah.
Since we're dealing with percentages.
Yeah. So they add up to 100%, so it's a minimum passing grade.
I was gonna say, depends on how you look at a minimum passing grade, I guess.
Incentive, I was speaking while you're drawing things down there. The incentive to me means there's been some success, some strong measure of success, and we want to give an incentive for that. So in my mind, the minimum is like 80%. 80%.
Or you can go with Rich's idea of, this is the percentage of the annual appraisal, but is whatever you're saying is okay for the annual appraisal, is that a pass fail to report to the incentive without setting them? And that would be that, here's your percentage on the annual appraisal, and then pass fail to report to look at that incentive.
I'm not sure I'm tracking that.
Well, because if you say 80%, are you saying 80% of the total score, or are you saying 80% of each one?
I was thinking of, well, I was thinking the overall score, but not. Do you want to?
No, I'm willing to go with whatever you recommend.
That would be my recommendation.
For total. Oh.
So do we want to make a decision then?
I think that sounds fine to me. I can try to put the motion together.
Goodbye.
All right, so I move that the board move forward and accept the committee's recommended evaluation process, not track changes, with the quality and patient category at 25%, financial leadership 25%, advanced operations 20%, community 15%, leadership 15%, and a minimum score overall of 80% on that evaluation is required to receive the incentive. Is that Patrick?
Yep. Second? All in favor? Jerry?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Okey-doke. Can we get this typed up into a
Yes.
format
Yes.
that's readable,
Yes.
legible? Okay. HRG?
Yep.
Sorry, you now have to look at the actual incentive sheet, to make sure that I captured what you said. I don't want to miss that. And this is all done, understanding that this is looking forward to the 2020 evaluation and incentive. Wanted to make sure that was clear.
Shouldn't the categories mirror the categories on the evaluation form? I'm asking, and
Sorry, what question?
the categories on this sheet, do they mirror the evaluation form categories?
These things are time measured,
The time and.
Some of them are driven from that.
yeah.
Right.
What's the,
So instead of time, I give you the quality.
Quality measures.
So we're still missing those other key categories from the evaluation form.
I'm not sure I understand what the problem is. Could you?
Oh, well, I'm just seeing, I see financial, and then I see prime that we're saying is quality, med staff relations, I'm not sure where that would be on here, or community, or leadership.
So it was my understanding from the community that this incentive program was over and above the evaluation, and these were what they gave me to put on this incentive program. So, and those were some of the key points that were taken from that evaluation. So it wasn't the evaluation in total, or all the sections in
Yeah,
total,
keep them on
these
there.
were the important pieces they wanted to see.
That makes sense.
So, do you comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, I move we adopt the CPO incentive form.
Ken?
Hi.
Aye. Rich? Aye. Larry? HRG? No. Steve? Ken?
So cabbage. Mentioned, I didn't mention it, it's in the summary. Our total accounts receivable days are at 60.7. This is the first time it's gone outside of our target range of 45 to 55 since I've been here, so that's over a year. Looking at a couple things. More specifically is that HRG is having an extremely difficult time providing us with Medi-Cal billing and receivable resources, staff, and retain staff that replace them, and they're not able to get them up to where they need to be. They don't have the depth of resources. So this will probably be the thing that'll decide our relationship here. If they can't come up with a solution to consistently manage our Medi-Cal receivables, then I think we're gonna have to look elsewhere, because it's not the right word is certainly not fair to us that we have to go through this since I've been here, the 15 months I've been here. You can see kind of the roller coaster of the AR going up and down, just never out this far. Now, to be fair to HRG, that we have identified that Seneca staff needs to be a little more vigilant on our discharge not final bill, and basically the stuff that we released to them. As you can see, they said the unbilled was at 10 days, we want it down by 5 days. It's not all on us, but a big chunk of it is. So we'll do our part, they need to do their part, and if we can get those two things corrected, then I think we get our days back to where we're at, and not have to go through the horrible exercise of changing vendors or changing the way we do this, should we choose to try to do it internally.
Are we just trying to do too much staff
that simple, it really is, unfortunately.
My question, as you were discussing that, is you said you alluded that we're gonna have to deal with this with them, and what's the timeframe for this? And how long will we give them to get this done?
Our contract extension, or our contract, they were originally under a 3-year contract with us. It expired this past spring, and we only extended it for a year. The idea that we would try and get some stability here and better performance, because there's no reason that we shouldn't continue to improve our performance, excuse me. It's not like we get to this point and that's all the better we can do. So something's gonna have to happen in the next 2 months, because if we are gonna change, it's gonna take us a few months to vet potential candidates and to prepare ourselves for that transition next spring. So I'd say it's September, we're still experiencing the same thing. We're just gonna have to.
Is it your sense that we have their attention?
I don't know.
Well, in past history, once we start making these efforts, then as we get their attention and we start to do better again, as Steve alluded to, one of the issues is Medi-Cal billers are really hard to come by. So they're at a premium because of all the different changes and whatnot, and it's not a very pleasant job. So the turnover that they're experiencing is the turnover that all the other building companies are experiencing as well. So that's a piece that we do have to identify with them is, what are you doing to keep these Medi-Cal billers? What can we do to help you?
Now, didn't our present contract have incentives?
It does. The problem is that, as far as the AR days go, we're not meeting the 5 days on the unbilled, so their AR, for them to meet their AR days, we have to get our unbilled down to 5 days. So, that's not triggered.
So it's our problem.
It's partially our problem, you bet.
Sounds like it may be more than partially our problem.
No.
So how can we accomplish that?
How can we accomplish?
No, can we?
Can we get it down to 5 days? To meet that, so it triggers their thing?
Right.
Absolutely. We're only a couple days off there, Rich, and so it's what happens to the claims after they go out. That's what kills us.
Does our contract obligate us to send 100% of our bills to them?
I would have to look. You're saying look at someone just specifically that can do Medi-Cal?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Do you know, Steve, if this is,
I don't think we should wait till September, is what I'm saying.
As far as,
Let's get moving on it. We talk about this all the time.
right,
But when we get up to 60, and if it goes up more, it's not good.
I'll have to look and see what our legal options are, what our termination clause is within the contract, so. Or.
I guess it relates to my question, whether we're obligated to give them 100%.
Right. Whether
You
you
can continue
form
doing
out
business for
or-
another month and a half, or whatever it is, and start moving. Like you mentioned at the finance committee, we talked about CPSI as an
Mhm.
option.
Certainly is.
We could start exploring that in real time.
Well, one of the things that would help too is, and it helped both times when Cheryl and I went up there, and Carlene and I went up there, going up to Seattle and saying, hey, look, we want to see why the Medi-Cal billers or whatever's going on, show us, and we're looking elsewhere. So by us making that trip up there, that was that big step to make them move more and be better.
It's a shame you have to travel to Seattle.
Exactly. It was on their dime though. It was on their dime.
Okay.
any other comments or questions for Steve? Governance, education?
So I do have to walk to that is.
bylaws committee update, that's been deferred.
Well, and I think I sent you everything, yeah, but I feel, we got it in my computer and got it in everything's computer, so I think you got it in the,
When did you send it?
that was Joanne, what, last week, 2 weeks ago?
The only one I got was the old stuff that we already had, which said in this email, I'm still looking, I'm gonna give you more information. I don't have the more information.
But you also got the email that had my comments on there?
Yes.
Okay, so,
So I have
what
yours,
you're
I just don't
mentioning
have
is,
the rest of the attorney's comments.
okay, we don't have any more comments from the attorney yet. So, I think we're good then. Just wanted to check to make sure that I got you.
So, we're not waiting then, as a percent for more comments with that?
I have sent him an email to see if he had more comments, and I don't have that response back from him yet. And that's what I was going through my whole emails to make sure that it didn't go to her as well, and I don't see anything, so.
So,
I questioned him again on, did you miss something for us? As Jerry had pointed out, he said additional comments.
are we waiting for comments or not?
Yes, yes. So, there we go.
Again,
Okay. Is someone going to be giving a report on strategic planning?
I wanted to update you on the seismic update, SB 758. I got some more information from T. One of the things that since there was some discussion and we had those earthquakes down in Southern Cal, the 6.4 and the 7.1 occupied was down there and California Public Health was down there. And both Ridgecrest and Belasier skilled nursing facilities fared very well. Their buildings didn't have any problems. They never stopped their operations. And it gave a little bit more credence to the fact that some of these buildings who occupy the same aren't compliant can withstand the earthquake. So that also helped in that stage A is moving that to a 2-year bill instead of a 1-year bill to give us more opportunities to sculpt down the opposition. And they're looking at making it the EV zoning. And we checked Rich and why I don't know why he said the Plumas County, and I never did find it, I know it's going on for the other county, because I don't know why he said that, because when I called him and talked to him, and I met him as T, they're only looking at making the EVs compliant. So it's just the emergency department and to be compliant by phone code.
So his comments, and we were all here, but he mentioned specifically Plumas County was going to be exempt from any
Seismic.
size.
And that's not in what they're pushing right now. I asked them on that one. So that's the seismic one. I wanted to make sure, with strategic planning, that we were all aware that there might be some changes to that.
You know, that doesn't even make sense to me, because how could you make the emergency department compliant and the rest of the hospital not?
Everything else falls down and the emergency
But the
department's
emergency
still
room is
there.
still standing, and it has to be able, for 3 days, you have to be able to manage that ED for 3 days.
So it's not exclusively then the structural integrity.
Right. Okay, and then the legislation is on summer hiatus, but one of the Senate bills that we're going through is Senate Bill 66. And that bill is, it will help us with rural health claim service, and it's, right now, we can't have 2 visits on the same day. And so what they're trying to push through with this bill is that you can have 2 visits on the same day at the same location if after the first visit the patient suffers from illness or injury that requires additional treatment and diagnosis, or if the patient has a medical visit and a mental health visit or a dental visit on the same day. So currently, you couldn't go see your primary care physician, medical doctor, if you still had mental health or a dental visit in that same clinic. So they're pushing that through to 2 visits on the same day. So couple of that goes through.
Which, you know, it really should be for any different doctor. If you see a cardiologist and an endocrinologist the same day, they should both get paid.
But it has to do with filling out in the rural health plan. And then, Lance is still working with Terry Collins on getting that purchase agreement, the legal purchase agreement for that land.
That's it for strategic plan? Okay, and I guess we'll move into the CEO report.
So the provider recruitment update, Dr. Cooper is still on task, to be here August 5th. He was still looking for housing the last I talked to him, and that was on Tuesday. But still planning on being here. Dr. Joseph was the physician that is the J1 visa. He is still highly interested. He's exploring with the immigration attorneys on how we can go about him coming here, and we agreed in concept to the compensations that we offer, so he's still in the works. Lisa Cordova is a nurse practitioner student that's here, and we've been talking to her, trying to see what her thoughts are. And her big thing is she's waiting to get licensed, and the other thing is she wanted to get more experience in a larger facility before she came back to a smaller facility. Steve Hayden, our nurse practitioner that's in the walk-in clinic, he's got the contract, we're just waiting for him to sign. We can sign and get it back to us. He agreed to everything that was in the contract and the compensation. Teresa Nilsson, the nurse practitioner that has been in that empty office, that's been seeing some of the more complicated patients that we have and picking up some of those patients. She is in the process of reviewing the current contract that the board approved. That compensation isn't an issue right now. We just have a few things to iron out on agreeing on a contract, and then we still have to go to medical staff next month to make sure that that's the contract we want to go with. And then we do have a nurse practitioner that fell out of the sky, Jim, Indeed.com, is where she came from, Jim?
Actually, she just made a phone call. Yeah.
So we'll be interviewing her tomorrow. Where's she from, Jim?
She's down in Mexico now, in the New Mexico now, not Mexico. And she's working down there, she's coming up to visit, look around, so.
Now, this is a psych nurse?
Oh, no, I'm getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. We're getting there, Jess, you would be excited about this. So then we also have a nurse practitioner who is behavioral health specialty. She's out of Reno. We're looking into the dynamics of, because of a needing a supervising physician in California. Can it be a medical physician, or does it have to be a psych physician to be her supervising physician? So we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to figure out, one, can we bill these visits through rural health clinic, which, we're looking at all the specifications. She also has a licensed social worker who would like to come with her to help, and she wants to be here on site, not telehealth, but on site. So the other thing Ann is looking into for us is, can we have the supervising physician be one of the telehealth physicians? So we're looking at trying to figure all of that out. We also had a meeting with Plymouth County, with Tony, and the name of the company that Plymouth County is one with is Aligned Telehealth. So we are stepping in with them to being able to offer more telehealth behavioral health services through the county, so we're jumping on board with them. And that Aligned Telehealth is where you have the physicians, behavioral health physicians, behavioral health social workers and physicians online for us. So a lot of things are just falling into our lap right now. Go ahead.
I was just asking, how are we helping Dr. Cooper look for housing?
We put him with real estate agents, 2 of them. Lindsay's been working really hard on that piece. I talked with the auxiliary and I gave him 3 different houses from the auxiliary. Dr. Slade offered up her house. So, Karen, I think you had a house too, didn't you? That we put his way, was that one of the ones?
No.
I don't remember. Anytime we hear of a rental or a sale house, we let him know, we put him in contact with all the real estate agents, so they're all helping him.
So are they looking for a rental for right now?
It was both. It's right now, first it was just a rental, and then he decided, well, no, maybe we'll purchase. And so he's looking at whatever will suit them. So we've been working really hard at trying to accommodate him through a variety of different people. The community has been really helpful on giving us a phone call, hey, I know of a house that's for sale, and for rent. So we've been working on that. Okay, so back to the residency program. So we have Andrew Cosell, he's a PA student, and he's from Truro University. He's been with Dr. Mellon. He really likes the area. He has some more schooling to do, but we move forward with that one. And then Shasta Community and Mercy Medical Center has UC Davis interns. So we've talked to Dr. Devinas, he's the Shasta Community Residency Program Coordinator. He's going to come up in September. One of the drawbacks for us was that we needed to have some full-time positions here to take on those interns that wanted to come. And now that we will have that in Dr. Cooper and Dr. Ware, we can get some interns here. So in September, again, Dr. Devinas will do a site visit and talk with the physicians here to see what we can do here. So, good news.
These are residents.
These are the interns, first year interns, and third year interns.
No, they have a residency program there.
Right.
It's 3 years, so the interns are the first year, and then residents the second 2 years.
Okay, so that's what we're talking. As he was talking first year students and then the third years. And they've all completed their first 4 years.
Yes.
So that's the physician recruitment, nurse practitioner, mid-level recruitment, that's where we're moving forward. There's another there's another position out there that she will be finishing her program like Dr. Buzak in the spring of 2020 that was presented to us, and she's taking a step back. She wants to think about moving up to a smaller rural area. So, and I think we presented her last month, and her name is escaping me right now, but she's not a no, she's just thinking about a smaller rural area. That would be our residence program. Questions? I'm hardly getting any. Then, let's see, skilled nursing survey, July 9th, I submitted to you, we actually received the 2567 form, and they actually did a fantastic job of getting the plan of correction completed and sent that off, and I sent that to you in a different document of what they actually wrote. So Ashley and Kim did that and got that accepted, or it's not accepted yet, it got sent. It was actually due, it's due on Saturday, we got it out by Wednesday.
We have to have the corrections made by August.
But they're all done. So what happens is, in the mail, we get the 2567, which I sent the blank copy out to you as requested. So you got that, the blank one without their responses. Then Ashley and Pam, who I'm sure was working on the responses, which then we sent by July 23rd to them. So we've already done our part on giving the response and corrections to what they cited us on. Now we wait for a response to them, whether they accept the corrections or whether we have to make more corrections or more changes. So we sent what we needed to before the deadline.
So they all have to come out and confirm it by August 9th.
What happens is they will review what we sent, and if they accept it, they'll send us a letter, such as the letter that we just received for the survey of April 25th, where they said they accepted our plan of correction. We'll either get a letter like that, accepting those corrections, or we'll get a phone call saying, okay, you need to fix this piece or that piece, or show me this documentation.
This is pretty serious, because it says the informal notice of imposition of statutory denial of payment for new admissions effective July 25th.
This is a form letter that they send, and it is a serious form letter, but this is what they send. So now we're just waiting on their response, whether they're going to accept our final correction or not. And then they also accepted the distinct parts skill licensing survey final correction that we sent in from back in April when we had that survey. So I sent you that document as well, so you saw that. They accepted it. Oh, I'm sorry, org chart. So, we did a little with knowing that our medical staff coordinator was going to be out, and that's a really hard position to recruit to. We had to do some rearranging of duties of the medical staff, coordination since there's very few people who know how to do that. So, Joanne and I will be taking on the medical staff coordinator position, and that's getting these positions credentialed. We're right in the middle of reappointment of all of our positions right now, so that has to get done as well. So we moved some of, on the organizational chart, some of the folks around to where some of them are reporting to Karen now, and some of them are reporting to Steve. So that was part of that reorg chart. And when I talked with the department manager, I let them know it's a fluid document. So, you know, if we need to make any other additional changes or change back to different things, we can, but while we're trying to get that position recruited, that was one of the reasons of moving that organizational chart around. And then the other one was there was some staff concerns and issues, and so, and trying to listen to the staff and their concerns and moving some of the reporting structure around. That also was a piece of why we did that move.
And I understand there are some HR issues with this, and because of that, I'm not clear as to how this all came about. I'd like more discussion on that, but possibly in closed session, because
There are some issues, yes.
HR.
I mean, this is a huge restructure.
Yeah.
Is this something the CEO can even do for one room?
Some of the things we discussed.
So, the question then is, do you want to put this off till next month, or do you want to have a special meeting to discuss it?
It sounds to me like it's actually been part of what we will be discussing today.
I don't know those numbers well enough to say whether or not it is. I did not check that. Do you?
Well, I think there's some relation to it, whether or not we should come back to this. You're suggesting a special meeting for this?
No, I'm asking
Oh,
you.
but you're just saying that,
No,
as opposed to today, is what you're saying.
I was on the wrong person here. I was asking a question.
It was not. I think that today's closed session might get into some of this, yes. But it was not specifically set aside to discuss this. So I think if we go too far off of what's, I think should be in the agenda, then I'm going to say we can't discuss it, and we'll set up a special meeting. Is that fair?
And under the departmental issues and reports, we set up this agenda, we inadvertently left off IT and informatics that was not done intentionally. It happened. So that's all I have, unless you have more for me.
You know, is most of this plan of corrections the result of the outside food issue?
Yes.
And so the new policy is that nobody's allowed to have outside food except the skilled nursing residents who caused the problem to begin with.
Well, one of the issues that we had to do an immediate correction is to put that in place. until we do the investigation and figure it out. So what the issue is when the skilled nursing facility, the whole distinct area all flips out. So you can't take away their rights to somebody else. We just have to guard against where do we know this food is coming from. So what we did was, and I'm the one who did it, I immediately said, no, right now we can't bring in food unless it's from the bakery or the holiday or a restaurant. So that we could stop that immediate piece and then move forward. Since then, when we talked with WorkComp, because then you're talking about the skilled nursing residents are one issue, WorkComp and employees getting ill from food that we allowed to bring in is another issue. And then the rights of the employees of I want to share my food with Joanne. So there's all these different pieces that we had to put together. Is why immediately we said, don't bring in food from the outside that is not from a grocery store or from a restaurant that is approved.
So the plan of correction address all those topics you just
No,
mentioned?
this plan of correction is only for the skilled, that's all they cared about at that point. But it's a bigger concern because it also occurred and we had employees who ate said cookies. So we not only had to deal with the residents, which was this plan of correction, we had to deal with employees, which then deals with WorkComp and Alpha Fund and data. So that's why we have all these different pieces and why we had to immediately put in place.
Okay, I understand that. So I had a patient that brought in some canned goods to my office. She cans jellies and jams. And she brought them in for all of the office, myself, my receptionist, my medical assistant. Are they allowed to accept that from outside source?
If they accept it, it's on their own, and if they get sick, then that's their problem.
Okay, but they didn't do anything wrong if I accept it. Okay, that's what I want to know.
It would be if we sponsored as a facility a call-up, and Joanne brought in a casserole, and that's a
That's
problem.
fine, you answered my question.
Okay, good.
Okay. Department issues, this is an area where I wanted to try to shorten the agenda and not have the meetings run so long, especially not till 9 o'clock at night anymore. And what I've suggested is that department heads should not feel obligated to give a report. If you really don't have anything to report, don't make a report. And some of you might make a report just in writing. It'll be available if anybody wants to read it, but that doesn't mean you have to make a presentation. So with that in mind, we'll have the department reports now. Karen, do you know who all's going to report?
No, I do not.
Okay. Is Casey going to report?
There's nothing from quality today.
Okay. Sadie?
Just that we have a compliance meeting next week to move forward the compliance program.
And who's going to be involved in that?
A compliance committee, Dr. Ware.
Hold your hand up.
Well, I mean, who is the committee?
Karen's on the committee, Jim, med staff, coordinator, so Linda will be there, CEO, compliance officer,
Okay, that's.
and Steve.
And then will there be minutes?
Yes.
And will those minutes come to the board?
They'll come to the medical staff first, and then the
To
medical.
the board, okay. Karen, do you have a report?
I didn't have anything, but right before I walked in here, we lost power, and it's supposed to be out till 7:30. So we're on generator right now, supposed to be out till 7:30 tonight. So we're down CT and X-ray right now.
This is related to PG&E?
Was it a planned shutdown?
Pardon me?
Was it a planned shutdown?
No, I'm not sure.
They would just say anything about
We weren't aware of it, so it was a surprise to us.
Okay. Ann, do you have a report?
Not today.
And Jim gave a written report in here. Board members can look at it if you have any questions. Are there any? And then IT, was there an IT report?
No, I have nothing.
I would like to comment on the wellness screening from last week and the week before, went very well. About the same number as last year, about 76. We average between 18 and 20 a day.
Okay, good. Okay, then moving along to the consent agenda, there's nothing there. Joanne, do you want to mention anything that you made notes of for the next meeting?
Sorry, I'm not sure what you want to do. I just have down, I do have the universities on my phone.
Okay.
Well.
That'll be in a closed session, we'll see what comes out of it. I don't know, we'll have a special meeting or we'll cover everything today. What was the other thing? Oh, and we'll have a mini report on the CEO evaluation, something that's legible, makes sense. Okay. And I'm available if you need some help with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and I think what we'll do is just take a quick break and then go into the closed session.
Would you want to close? Would you want to close the session?
Closed session, originally tried to do. The legal counsel, anticipated litigation first, and the board will be there, and Linda will be present. I'm not sure if that's up to you, or if you have to be there or not. And then the second section, we're going to do, and I'm going to ask you to leave it first, so we can discuss, and then we'll probably have you come in.
Okay, and then one of the things that we set up now is, if you're waiting to come back to the board after closed session, you wait in the, walk-in clinic waiting room. So no more waiting out here, you wait in the walk-in clinic.
Okay, regular meeting is back in session. The board met and we discussed, as is on the agenda, we discussed the anticipated litigation and we discussed the public employee performance evaluation. Do you want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion. I move that we authorize the president of the board to sign the acknowledgement and consent waiver form for program, the program data, or is it for this law firm specifically?
It's for this case specifically.
For this case. The case of 3/4 closed session.
Case CB 19-00047. Okay, all in favor? Jared? Okay, Rich? Aye. Myself, aye. Ken?
Aye.
And the other subject, no decisions were made. It was open. It was a closed discussion. Okay? I anticipate we will have a special meeting. Next meeting is when? Next regular scheduled meeting is August 29th, 3 o'clock, same place. Meeting's adjourned.